Te quiero un huevo is a Spanish expression that is not obvious if you translate it literally. In this case, un huevo means a lot. So, te quiero un huevo is I love you a lot, I love you very much. And this was pointed out to me in my YouTube comments the other day. We have a lot of uses of huevo in Spanish. So today we're going to do a little bit of egg vocabulary. First up, let's talk about literal eggs, the food. We have huevos fritos. Listen to the pronunciation of huevos. The H is silent and the V sounds like a B most of the time. This depends a little bit on your accent, but huevo is how I would say it. Huevos fritos are fried eggs. Huevos revueltos are scrambled eggs, coming from the verb revolver, which is to, mix something. Huevos revueltos. Huevos duros would be hard-boiled eggs. Duro is hard. Huevos rotos are fried eggs with fried potatoes and maybe some ham or something else. This is a dish you will see on the menu in like typical Spanish bars and restaurants. Huevos rotos. The English translation there is broken eggs because you break the yolks on top of the potatoes with your fork before you eat it. There's also a couple of other words related to eggs that you might want to know. La yema is the yolk. Yema. La yema del huevo is the egg yolk. La clara del huevo is the egg white. La clara del huevo. So sometimes you see recipes where you have to batir las claras or something. That would be to beat the egg whites. Batir las claras. So yema and clara are two parts of the egg. Also la cáscara del huevo. That is the shell. There's a lot of different types of shell, I guess, in Spanish. We use the word shell for several different things in English, but in Spanish, shell is a whole list of different words. But then here in my YouTube comments, Christina mentioned that if you say that something cuesta un huevo, you mean that it costs a lot of money. Cuesta un huevo. Somebody else pointed out that that refers to testicles. I'm not 100% certain that in that case it refers to testicles. In any case, huevo could be both. It could be a lot of something. It could also refer to testicles. We'll talk about that in a minute. First, te quiero un huevo is I love you a lot, as I mentioned at the beginning. Cuesta un huevo is it costs a lot of money. After that, you have a couple of other expressions. Me apetece un huevo. In this case, I don't think we're talking about testicles. We're talking about I want to do this very much. Me apetece un huevo. When you say me apetece, it means that you want to do something. You have an urge to do something. It comes from the same idea as appetite. When you say cuesta un huevo, it might refer to testicles, I guess, because it could just be a variation on cuesta un ojo de la cara. It's a part of your body you would not want to give up easily. So when I mentioned cuesta un ojo de la cara, meaning something costs a lot of money, the ojo de la cara is a part of your body you don't want to lose. Same as un huevo. When you say te quiero un huevo or me apetece un huevo, I think you're just using huevo to mean a lot, having no anatomical reference. But let's talk about anatomical references because someone else in my YouTube comments, someone called The Fly, said that, yes, huevos can also refer to testicles, balls. So there's a couple of examples of that. You could use it literally to refer to balls. In my gym yesterday, I'm, wrestling with other middle-aged dudes. And there was a technique where you grab somebody's arm and you drag it down to next to their balls and then you try to knock them over. And the teacher referred to this as la mano a sus huevos. So that's literally talking about somebody's testes. However, we can also say hay que tener huevos para hablar así, which is talking about courage, basically. Hay que tener huevos para hablar así. You must have courage to speak in this manner, is a translation of that. Hay que tener huevos para hablar así. Hay que is for like a obligation or a necessity in this case. Finally, we have the expression con un par de huevos, which could also be con un par de cojones. Cojones is the more profane version of talking about testicles. So this also refers to doing something with a lot of courage or bravery. I wrote down an example. Pidió un aumento al jefe con un par de huevos. This is, he asked his boss for a raise because he was courageous, basically. I'm expressing some sort of admiration for his courage, is basically what I'm doing. Pidió un aumento al jefe con un par de huevos. Like I said, huevos could also be cojones. There's a lot to say about cojones also. There's a lot to say about the Spanish culture of masculine virility, but that's another topic for another day, I guess. Thank you very much to my commenters, Christina and The Fly, for giving me ideas for new videos here. You can subscribe to this channel. You can like this video. You could go over to expatmadrid.com/donate and donate to my channel just to keep me working here. I do all of this for free because I don't really have anything to sell you, but it does take time and I would love to do more of it. So expatmadrid.com/donate to support the channel. Thank you very much. Bye. Final thing today are huevas. Huevas is fish eggs, or fish roe more specifically. I am not an expert on fish, but I think this is basically an organ, like an egg sac that is inside the fish, and you can, pull it out and eat it. So on menus sometimes you'll see huevas de merluza. They'll make like a pickled hake roe sort of thing. Huevas de merluza. It's not bad. I don't know. I've had it once. It's also not that common, I think, because you don't see it very often. But sometimes if you go to buy fish, they'll open up the fish in front of you, and if there is a hueva inside, they'll ask you if you want to keep it or not. So depending on the fish, you might have huevas de merluza, huevas de bacalao, which would be cod. Bacalao is cod. And that's huevas. It's basically fish eggs.